Welcome to another student-focused edition of the Forward Together podcast. My guests today are students who are working at Deloitte Smart Factory at Wichita on the Wichita State University Innovation Campus. Ebony Moore is a junior in human resource management and is working as an experienced design intern at the Smart Factory. Kyle Walte is a senior in mechanical engineering and is a student team lead at the Smart Factory. And Ryan Walte, who is Kyle's twin, is also a senior in mechanical engineering and works at the Smart Factory as the Industry 4.0 technology student. All right, how are you doing, Ebony? Before we start talking about the Smart Factory, you just returned from a study abroad experience in Europe. So could you tell us a little bit more about what you experienced, where you went?
Yeah, of course. So I always wanted to incorporate studying abroad into my college experience. So this winter, I had the opportunity to go to Europe, and I went to 7 places there. So I started in London, Paris, somewhere in there. I went to Milan, Venice, Florence, Nice, and we finished in Rome. And it was an incredible experience. So it was all about European art, history, and culture. So, of course, Europe is really rich for all of that. So we went to a lot of museums, a lot of art galleries, and just really embedded ourselves into the culture.
Oh, that sounds awesome. And you know, listen to you talk about that. You guys are working in a technology area, broadly describing what you guys do as technology. I know it's a lot more detailed than that. I think having those kind of experiences outside of your field, enables you to learn more about how to critically evaluate, art, for example.
Exactly. Yeah.
Europe, so that's great.
Yeah. So for me, I'm actually very analytical. So studying art really just helped my mindset. And I feel like it makes me look at problems differently and problem solve in a different way. So, yeah.
Okay. So Ryan, the Smart Factory isn't your first applied learning experience, right?
Correct.
Yeah. And I've learned that you've also worked at Textron, NIAR, Koch Industries, which is incredible that you've had these kinds of experiences. How have these applied learning experiences affected or improved your academic experience here at Wichita State?
Well, I'd say it's definitely fair to say I've jumped around a little bit from different positions at different companies. But overall, I'd say it really ties into how you approach problems. So when you're in a class, classes teach you a lot on, I think, discipline practices. So the idea of being on schedule, not procrastinating, dealing with tasks and being very deliberate in the way you approach tasks, which I think really rolls over well when you approach it from a industry perspective. Mm-hmm. And I think it's almost a two-way streak as well, going from industry back to classroom. In industry, nothing's clear-cut. No problem has an easy solution. You're always dealing with different ways to approach problems, and your solution might not be perfect, but it's going to be based on what you have. Mm-hmm. So that really helps approaching, say, senior design courses, my design classes. All of those really tied in well with the experiences I pulled from career examples, as well as tying in well with my in-class work.
Yeah. If you're listening to this and not watching it, because we videotape this and we also record it for those that just listen to the audio version of it. You have a twin brother who happens to be sitting next to you, and his name is Kyle. So if you were watching this, you go, I wonder if those guys are twins. So just to make sure that people understand that's the case. So Kyle, good to see you. In your role as the team lead at the Smart Factory, you're responsible for researching and developing and integrating and troubleshooting Industry 4.0 technology. Some people say 4.0 technologies, but I know from talking with various folks at the Smart Factory, they say 4.0.
Yes.
That's the way you talk about this. For the listeners and those that are watching on the video, explain what Industry 4.0 is or 4.0 is, and what's an example of some of the technologies that you're working on or work with?
Definitely. So 4.0 is basically, it's like the fourth industrial revolution. So we had steam power, we had the manufacturing line, and then we had basically robotics and computers. So 4.0 is a lot more of data. So it's like, how do you connect all those systems and make a fully integrated system? So you have robots talking to your management systems, talking to your guests. It's all of that smart factory. Great examples of that are AR, VR, automated robotics, data management systems, but data is really the key kind of
aspect of all of it is how does everything talk together and how are you able to see everything as a whole, so you're not jumping from every single system you have, you're seeing all of that technology work as one.
Yeah. And I've been to the smart factories several times and seen you all over there, and I'm so impressed with how you're integrated into that facility, and of course now how you're talking about it. So I'm going to have a question for all of you, and then we'll just kind of go down the line here. Ebony, I'll start with you. So what are your duties at the smart factory, and how has that prepared you for the workforce?
Yeah, so at the Smart Factory, I'm a part of the experience design team. So a little bit about what that means is when we bring guests and clients into the Smart Factory, there's an extensive process to actually get them in the doors, because we want to make sure what we're bringing them to, like when they come for their experiences, that it's going to actually help them progress and grow using 4.0 technologies. And so with that, as soon as a request comes in, I create workbooks so that like holds all of the information for that client or that guest coming into that tour. And then I will create transportation schedules, detailed itineraries, and then finally ensuring that all communication between all of the teams on site are prepared. So when the client or guest gets here, it's all a smooth and seamless transition. And so what really has helped me with that is just finding out good communication skills, because when you're planning experiences, that's all you need is communication, making sure everything is put in a timely manner and written down, or someone knows something, or everyone knows everything in that case scenario. So it's really taught me great communication skills for sure.
Yeah. And it's just so impressive to see our students working in this major corporation. Yeah. Now, I just have to say this too before we go on to Ryan and Kyle, is that, Deloitte, they could have built that smart factory anywhere, but they wanted to come to Wichita State because of our expertise in smart manufacturing and other kinds of technologies. And it's just what a showcase that is for institution and a city, but a great resource for students who get to participate in that. So Ryan, same question. What are your duties at the smart factory? I've seen some of you guys do some things. And how has that prepared you for the workforce? And just so people know, Ryan and Kyle are going to be graduating this May. Is that right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And Essie is a junior.
Yes.
And so have another year.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us, Ryan, how this has helped you prepare for graduation and the workforce going forward.
No, definitely. So my role at the Smart Factory, I'm also an experienced intern. My background's a little more technical though, so a lot of what I do is prepping the equipment for the experience. So I make sure that all of our technology is integrated correctly and that we're all up and running before an experience comes through. So specifically, I work a lot with our spot units. So I've had the great privilege to be able to work with them, learn how to drive them. I do trainings for Deloitte wide on how to operate Spot, and actually had the privilege over last December to take Spot to AWS reInvent 2022, which was the highlight of the year for me, and then also a chance to present Spot at the Deloitte PPMD conference.
And spots are
yes, for those who don't know, Spot,
Yeah,
Spot is a robotic dog.
yeah, and I've seen Spot like lay down, and one time kind of rolled over, and for whatever reason Spot was wanting to roll over, but it was kind of surprised when I was there that one day. Were you going to say something else?
Basically, just tie it all together. I really think that this experience working with this kind of equipment, working in this kind of fast-paced environment and professional environment has really helped prepare me for graduation, because it's helped me know that there's no ideal in industry. Everything's constantly breaking, everything's constantly getting fixed, and nothing is ever working 100%. So being able to work around those issues and still create a successful product and still present at the end of the day a successful completed solution is, I think, invaluable knowledge to have at this point in my career, moving on to that full-time position with Deloitte.
Yeah, that's great. And Kyle, same thing for you. How has this experience prepared you for graduation and ultimately going out and getting a job? I'm assuming that's what your next steps are. Maybe you're going to graduate school. I don't know, but
no, we're actually both starting full time with them after graduation.
Yes.
Okay, all right. So that's great.
No, I've been there for over 2 years at this point, so I've gotten to see my role has changed probably 4 or 5 times at this point. But I'm an operations intern, so I'm much more on the technical side of things. So basically it's like we have either a company or a technology we want to integrate into it. I've been able to work through even the conceptual side all the way to actually getting it on the line, integrated, testing, and building demos around it. So it's a really great way to see all the technology that is coming in, all the cutting edge technology in the industry right now. And then I'm the student project lead, so I help manage I run our student check-ins, I help manage student projects. I'm kind of a buffer between some of the leadership and the student team. So it's been great. I would say what it's really taught me is that it's, when you're helping manage groups and everything, you're managing other groups, you also have your own projects you're working on, and it's just like I've had to adapt on my feet. I've had to be on one project, and then 10 minutes later, this is going wrong, get on this, get this team together, and start working on it again. So it's been a great experience.
And something that, in the theme of what you all have been saying is that, and especially you, Ryan, you're saying that nothing's perfect, things break, and you have to think on your feet. And I've heard that about, some of the customers that have come into Smart Factory, having to at the last minute think about something different that makes sense for their industry. And that's a great experience. And also makes it more interesting in that aspect too. So, Ryan and Kyle, you all just discussed that you're going to be working at Deloitte. So tell me how all that came about.
Feel free. So it's been definitely a long process, but a good process. We started with Deloitte he started longer ago than I did, but I started about a year ago with the company as an intern. And then through the process, kind of just ended up really finding a role that I enjoyed. I really always was interested in Industry 4.0, but having a chance to actually be involved with it and actually do work with real impact Industry 4.0 really cemented it as kind of where I want to be. And Deloitte is just pushing so heavily into that field that it was the reason for the best next step. Always wanted to work for them, and then they made an offer. We applied for a position, and the rest is history.
What's your position? What is it going to be?
So we will be starting, both of us, as supply chain network specialists, as analysts within business technology.
Okay.
Right. So basically, exactly what he's saying. There's always something new, always amount of variety. That's what I love about the role, is that I'm in engineering, but I don't get bored easily. I love seeing new things. I love getting a chance to see what's out there. And this role, there is always a new problem to solve, always a new technology to look at, and I'm excited for it. But we went through the application process, probably would have been September, interview process, and then got our offers November, accepted, and now it's just finish strong, graduate, and then see where we go from there.
So you're obviously twins. We talked about that. And you worked together as students and came to the same university. So how do you guys get along in your environment? Are you working in different areas? There's a lot of overlap? Or
There's a good deal of
We overlap quite a bit.
It's just, it's kind of a unique challenge because there's someone, we're, I guess, peers, but also brothers and coworkers. So there's definitely some sibling rivalry there. I've had my boss mention before, it's like, I can definitely tell you're brothers, but it's always good. We have fun with it. And he's my best friend. There's no one else I'd rather work with.
Same here. It's been a great experience. I don't know if we'll always work together. It depends kind of which direction we want to go within the company. But no, honestly, it's a great experience. We get along pretty well. Like he said, wouldn't say it's always smooth sailing, but in general, we're
it'd be abnormal if you.
Oh, exactly. That'd be too weird.
Okay. Well, and there's so many opportunities at Deloitte, and who knows where this will take you. And congratulations on getting that.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And so, Ebony, same question. What are your plans? I know you have another year,
Right.
And your major is in human resources. So that right?
Yes, correct. And management as well. So a little mix of both.
Mm-hmm. So what are you thinking about doing when you graduate, or is it too soon? Or
Well, of course, I'd hope to work for Deloitte. That's so we can work there. But yeah, that's the plan. Just apply when applications come out in around August, September, and then go through the interview process, hoping to get a full-time offer.
Well, that this is the reason why a lot of these industry partners have put their businesses on our campus, is because they want to be close to that talent pipeline. You all that are students working alongside them all on the way, and so it's not as big of a risk for them, and it's also this steady pipeline of individuals that they can count on and not have to worry about, okay, so where are we going to get these 3 people to do this kind of work? So Well, it's great to talk to you about Deloitte and what you're doing there. And I'm very proud of the fact that we have some of our very, very best students working at Deloitte. I know that I just hear positive things about you all the time, and we really appreciate you coming by the podcast today, and wishing you well in your future.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Yeah.
A lot of fun.
You want some experience? Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you for joining me today, and remember to rate, review, and subscribe wherever you listen to the Forward Together podcast.